Hi, g'day YouTube. What's up? It's me, Motoroo, and or Chad here, or just Kangaroo, whatever name you want to call me. But anyways, today, welcome to this very special edition of Roadside Reviews. And first of all, don't worry. Obviously, I'm not drunk or tipsy right now. I'm sober as a judge. So there shouldn't be really any slip-ups or whatever fuck-ups in this video, because when you're sober, there's not really, there's no room really for fuck-ups, really. But you know what I mean? Like, if you fuck up while you're sober, that's just because you're being stupid. So or you're being a dumbass. There's no other way to explain it. But yeah, anyways, or who knows? I don't know. You might just accidentally get fucking hurt or something. But yeah. You're just less likely to do dumb shit or get hurt when you're sober. But anyways, so welcome to this very special edition of Roadside Reviews. So today we're going to be reviewing this album. So first of all, this is Superheist The Prize Recruit. This is of course, the original 2001 version. I don't know why on the Spotify version it says it was released in 2007. What the fuck, Spotify? Get your fucking dating right. Or yeah, your dates right. But anyways, so this band is actually one of my songs on my album Chimera Theory is named Superheist after this band. But yeah, so these guys, a bit of a background on these guys. They started in around 92, 93 as a grindcore band, or a death metal, like industrial death metal band, or a grindcore band. And they put out their Apocalypse EP, and then they put out, their 8 Miles High album in 1998, and this is their album after that. So this is the last album with technically the original, singer of course, D.W. Norton. And actually, let's give me a second. Let's open this up and see who's in the band for this album. So I'm just gonna open up the liner notes here and show you all. And I do have a limited time to record this video, so I better just kind of move along here. So, because I am going to be cooking dinner tonight, some barbecue chicken and some baked potatoes and corn, vegetables for my family tonight. But anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, so hopefully this video doesn't take too long, so I can get back at around 5:30, 5:45 probably at the latest. But yeah. So this album was produced by Kaiju Tanuma, or not Kaiju, Kalju. I've read it as Kaiju this whole time, but this is Kalju Tanuma, mixed by Rick Will, and then obviously all the Aussie, Melbourne, Sing Sing Studios, The Villa, Portsea, Australia. Yeah. But this is one of the few Australian nu metal bands. This is the only CD that I own by them so far. So actually, I bought this CD, funny enough, for like $21.37, so basically $20 off of eBay in April. It was one of the things that I bought myself for my 22nd birthday. And so yeah, gotta say, that's probably one of the best $20 I've ever spent. So, because this is now one of my favorite albums of all time. This is basically I guess, to put it simply, Australian Limp Bizkit, but they're also, obviously, so this is probably their most just straight up nu metal album, new/industrial metal, because there are some industrial elements, but there's also a lot of hip hop, grunge influence, so yeah, I think you guys get the idea. But and like I said, it's largely in part because, well, this is Berger, or I think it's actually his real name is Roger, but he just goes by Berger, Berger. He's the original singer of Superheist, and then there's D.W. Norton, who plays guitar very loudly apparently. So yeah, and all that. But yeah, very great guitarist. So yeah, just shout out to Superheist in general. But and then Sean Heist, the drummer, and then It's either Feta or I think it's just Feta. F-E-T F-E-T-A-H, Feta, Keys and Tech. So yeah, that would be the kind of electro-industrial part of the bands, and the keyboards and the synth and whatnot. So yeah, and obviously plays the beats means playing the drums. So yeah, percussion, you get it. So yeah, and actually there's one more. So obviously, yeah, there's also Drew, the low bass or bass player, I guess, bassist. So yeah, that's who is in the band for this album. So yeah, I believe, yeah, all these people, all the members are original in this case, except for the bassist, because they went through several bassists before this. Actually, one of them, if you look through their lore on Wikipedia, I guess, one of their bassists, his thumb got chopped off in a work accident. So yeah, or like a construction whatever it was. But yeah, kind of like how Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, his 3 fingers got chopped off in a steel factory accident, whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, anyways, so on to the actual review of the album. So the fight starts off with the fight back. It obviously starts off with some Egyptian type shit music. So yeah, and then that actually carries throughout the whole song. That's what makes the song the song. So yeah, and then there's just a very tight nu metal anthem track, very put your hands in the air, bang in your head, that whole thing. But it's like, it's Australian, so it's like has the kind of, well, this album delves into themes of, I guess, sex, drinking, violence, just the economy in general, I guess the bad parts and the good parts of it. But yeah, the state of the world, and yeah, you guys get the idea. So and yes, on a couple, I believe a couple of the songs, it does also mention, quote unquote, polishing the trophy. If you know, you know. But yeah, of course, these are young guys. It's kind of to be expected. But yeah, anyways, the fight back is really fucking great. It starts off with the Egyptian sample, industrial kind of. Actually, these guys might be influenced by Ministry, to be honest, because like that whole sampling thing, like Ministry and like Skinny Puppy started all that stuff. But then so basically the vibe that I'm getting from the album is kind of like a sci-fi fantasy kind of thing, but it's not as easy to tell on the cover as it is the CD. At first I thought these were just coordinates, but no, it's degrees. So you can see, 360, 40, 90, 180, 270, and then it goes back all the way up to 360. So it's kind of funny, like, because like the CD turns around in circles and circles constantly as it's playing until the end of the album. So yeah, but anyways, there's technically 14 tracks on this album. Track 13 is just a little interlude thing. So yeah, again, all these songs are about, drinking, partying, I guess going crazy in Australia, for lack of a better term. But yeah, because again, these guys are obviously Aussie, which I will say about Burger singing, it's very like when it's him singing, it's very unmistakable. So yeah, shout out to him, I guess. He has a really great voice, really great fry scream and everything. So yeah, but on some of the parts of the songs, it sounds like it's like worship, like Christian music, and it's like, okay, it sounds like Pearl Jam a little bit, or like Nirvana or something, but it also sounds like worship music. So yeah, there's that side of them too. I guess it goes also with the whole anthemic thing too. But yeah. So yeah, that's then there's the fight. Already talked about the Fight Back, and then Bullets, which is another single off of this album that has the music. The music video is still on YouTube if you want to go check that out. But yeah, I'm not going to link it. I will link the Spotify link to this album, which again, it wasn't released in 2007. It was released in 2001. And then I will also link. You know what? I'll put my Discord in the description below if you guys want to hit me up on Discord for any reason, or actually. So I'll quickly mention again about my band Sin to the Scales. We're looking for, in my last video I just said we're looking for other members, other musicians, but we're looking for mainly a bassist and a drummer, possibly a keyboardist, sample guy, possibly a DJ, because a lot of times you can do these days like samples and like synth stuff with a DAW on a computer. I can figure out how to do that. I also have a as you guys have seen in my previous videos, a 1992 PSR 500 Yamaha keyboard. But yeah, so yeah, drummers, bassists, and then I'm also looking for a singer better than myself to sing for my band. So yeah, singers, bassists, drummers, definitely hit me up on Discord, preferably. I'll put it in the description, and probably my other socials too. Other socials at this point too. So yeah. Anyways, back to the review. I'll also put my Send to the Scale Spotify link in the description. But yeah, Bullets is a very it's faster than the Fight Back, and it's kind of more laid back, I guess. It's not as, groovy. It's just kind of more straightforward rock and roll. And then there's Burnout Souls, which kind of sounds like a mix of Taproot and Korn. And then Slide, again, sounds like Taproot and or Korn. Actually, so this album, every song on this album, as far as I know, is in B standard, except for The Ghost, which is in drop A. But I might be wrong about that, because I've only learned, actually Bullet is in B standard. So yeah, the Fight Back and Bullet are in B standard. And then I actually covered on my album Loose Fangs, The Ghost. It's just a guitar demo cover track thing. But yeah, yes. So The Ghost is my favorite song off of this album. And then Burnout Souls is just kind of a follow-up to Bullet. And then Slide is kind of like, it's kind of funky, kind of industrially. And then Deliverance is I guess it sounds like Pantera a little bit too. But yeah, they are influenced by like Pantera, Fear Factory, stuff like that. And then Oligan Eurotrash is another one of my favorite songs off of this album. Has a very chill intro, and then it kind of just like slowly gets heavier. And then Uncanny Decadence, not my favorite, but yeah, I mean, it's probably actually my least favorite off the album. And then The Ghost, very beautiful, kind of slower tempo song, very dynamic. That's the whole thing about this fucking band. They're all about the dynamics. Like, you can just tell. Like, you get that vibe. But yeah, actually I have a funny little story behind The Ghost. So, back in 2021, when I was in college briefly, I worked at the Laguna Hills Pumpkin Patch, which I'm not going to say the name of. I've just said it was in Laguna Hills. So, yeah, so I was working there. It was like around, I want to say like 8:30 at night, kind of shortly before, like a half hour before my park that I was working in closed. But I want to say, who knows if it was being ran by an Australian person or whoever, just someone who was really into nu metal, I guess, because these guys, Superheist is fairly underground. They only have like 15.4k listeners. So yeah, but I want to say I was hearing The Ghost over the Bounce House Park, the Bounce House Park's speaker system which was next to, at the time anyways, next to the pumpkin patch that I was working at. And I was like, I knew it was definitely different. Like I won't say if it was, I can't confirm if it was the Ghost by Superheist. It would make sense because it was playing at around, loudly over a speaker system and a bounce out. But like, it was just very, one of those peculiar moments in my life that I wish I could go back to, because that was actually the first time I ever heard Superheist, and I had no idea who the fuck they were. And like, who knows if it was true, but I just have that, at least I think it was the Ghost. But yeah, it's either way, it's just a fantastic song. But yeah, it was just nice, whatever music they were playing in there anyways, like, it was just nice to listen to while I was kind of like, there weren't too many customers, weren't too many people coming in the park. I was just working one of the booths, one of the games. Yeah, it was a game, actually. It was the fishing game. But yeah, again, it's just like one of those memories that I'm not entirely sure if it was that song, but sure seems like it was. Because it had definitely been nothing I'd ever listened to before. But yeah, and then Happy Wasted. Okay, so I mentioned drinking earlier. This is their drinking song. So yeah, drink 'em if you got 'em, and please be 21 plus if you live in America. So yeah, and then Unlearn, kind of another chill, laid back, sort of hip hoppy track. And then Down South is sort of the, more or less, sort of the same thing. Crank the System, which is kind of like their most Limp Bizkit-esque song on this album, for lack of a better term. And then yeah, and then it goes to the interlude track 13, which is actually ghosted, funny enough, on this album, because they have another song called The Ghost. So yeah, track 13 is ghosted. It's only like a 5-second, kind of interlude. Like, it's like a, it's the outro to Crank the System. It's just like a, static sound or whatever. But yeah, and then 14 Step Back, and then, which is a very, very dynamic, beautiful song, like the rest of this album, sort of, more or less. But yeah, so I guess favorite songs off of this album are, of course, The Fight Back, Bullets, Burnout Souls I really dig, Old Again, Eurotrash, The Ghost, Happy Wasted. I do like, actually no, I like Unlearn more than Happy Wasted, and then Crank the System, and then Step Back. But yeah, overall rating for this album, I will give it a you know what, I'm just gonna give it a 10 out of 10, because it's just a very underrated. I was very lucky to buy this from a seller in the United States, because it's very rare that you'll see, let alone an Australian band, but Australian nu metal. That's just like, this is definitely a rare gem, and I hope nothing, this CD never gets damaged, and I will enjoy it for the rest of my days. So yeah, thank you very much to Superheist and D.W. Norton and the boys for influencing my band. Love you all very much. And yeah, this was my review for The Prize Recruit by Superheist, released in 2001 on Pivotal/Shock Records, which are both Australian labels. So yeah, actually, yeah, it took, I probably bought the CD. It was probably like from somewhere in the Midwest, because it only took like maybe about a week to show up to my house. So yeah, but yeah, like all the other ones on eBay, like they say like shipping from the UK, or there's like a couple from the UK, but most of them are from Australia. So yeah, I'm assuming they don't press them anymore. But yeah, if you can, though, I highly encourage you to get your hands on. This is definitely my favorite Superheist album. So yeah, definitely get your hands on or your paws on a copy of this album. So yeah, or stream it on Spotify or whatever, because it's the best thing that the best release by Superheist, in my opinion. So yeah, that about does it for this video, and I'll see y'all later. This is Rue signing out, checking out. Hit me up on Discord or in any other of my socials that I'm gonna put in the description. Again, putting the Prize Recruit Spotify link in the description, and also Sense of the Scales Spotify link, so you can go listen to us too. Go check out our cover of The Ghost, and last but not least, shout out to Split Persona and this badass band shirt. So yeah, which is sand colored like a sandwing scales, which goes along with my dragon necklace. So yeah, y'all get the idea here. So again, all right, later. I gotta go run. Bye. Thanks for watching.